Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Mark here, and today I'm back with another video. Now before we go into the video, I wanted to talk about a few things that are currently going on right now. So right now it's really a challenging situation for all developers, and some people are looking for new jobs, some are being laid off, and a couple of just looking around to see options. But to do that, you basically need a portfolio as a software developer or engineer to show off your skills and things that you've worked on in the past to get your dream, land on your dream job. And guess what, today we are back here with another video, and I'm gonna walk you through how you can build your portfolio so that you can land on your dream project. Now, I had my portfolio way back designed with Next.js. It was good, but there's something that is going on right now, and I thought I could, I've been playing around with it, and I thought I could also share it with you guys so that you can also have your take, and then have second ideas of how to play around. Maybe at time X you may want to use it. So today we're gonna look at Astro, and it's a buzzword that is going on right now, and to make sense of whatever I'm talking about, let's jump into the video and then see what's going on. Come on. So what you're seeing right now is a fully fledged application of Astro. Okay, and basically it has an about page, coding strategies. It's a single application just like React and Next.js. Now what I can say about Astro is really amazing. It's that it's like Next.js. I mean, with a few features. It's basically, you would use Astro for single page applications, and the best thing about Astro is that you can see the actual content, which is pretty amazing for Google SEO when your clients are searching for your data. I mean, for your company on online. The search engines can pull up that data. So now let me walk you through my portfolio. And by the way, if you're really interested in getting this template, just hit me up on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. Just look up Elite Byte Code again, and then shoot me a message. I'll definitely send you a repository. You can change a few things and use this as your template. Okay, and so now if you go to the projects, it has that smooth scroll. I have a bunch of projects that I've worked on. Then you can go to all the footer and everything. So Astro works like any other React application in a way that everything is a component. Whatever you see here is a component. But Astro takes a different approach to this. And let's jump into the code. So today what we're going to look at specifically is going to be how you can come up with a component in Astro and how you can pass data from the parent to the child component. Okay, so now we're going to focus specifically on these recent projects. So as a software developer, you would want to write once and then reuse the same component or function to execute whatever you need. So now for this card, I wrote it once and I'm reusing the same card everywhere. I can just import it and use it wherever I want. Doesn't matter if I'm on this page or the about page or the coding strategies. Okay, so now back to the home page. So when you take a look at this card, it's gonna be it's gonna have three child let me call them variables. Okay, it's gonna depend on three variables. Now we have the title of the card, we have the body, and then we have a link, okay, to the actual project. Now take a look. When you look at this, now I can link to this other project. By the way, if you want to see how I built this project, how I came up with it, just shoot me a message, comment down below, and let me know if you want a video on how we built that. So now this whole application is built with Tailwind, Astro, and yeah, pretty much that's it. So let's jump into the code and then see how we can come about with something like this. So if I minimize that, so you can see it's actually responsive. So now the recent projects basically is basically this component. Now take a look. In Astro, when you want to initiate or instantiate any kind of JavaScript, you'll need to use these triple dashes. Okay, so anything in between here is JavaScript. Okay, anything in between here is JavaScript related. Now the rest is pretty much HTML. That's the beauty. You can easily learn Astro.js in just one day, one night, and you're all good. So in case you don't need to import anything, everything in here is going to be empty. Now let me show you why now there's an import here, and actually this is our main interest. This is the meat on the bones. Okay, so now in Astro, when you create pages, okay, what do I mean by that? Like if you want to create the about page, strategies, Astro takes a different approach. Okay, in Astro, in Next.js, I believe you create a folder, the folder name, and then in there you write page.js. Okay, so now Next.js looks at the folder name, and then that's the name of the actual page. Now in Astro, it's a little bit different. You need to create the pages directory, and then Astro is going to look for pages, the pages directory, and then anything in there, let's say the about. So here we don't need to export anything like how we do in React and Next.js. You just write it, and then the name of the actual file is it's the actual page itself. All right. So and then when you're writing components, it's a good idea to write them in a Pascal case. Okay. Yeah, so write capital, start with a capital, and I'll show you how everything makes sense. Okay. Okay, now so our main focus is going to be on the card. Now if you create a card component, okay, since it's going to be, if you intend to pass data, which you call props, if you tend to pass arguments, if you're coming from languages like Java and TypeScript and all that. So if you're passing arguments to a child element, you need to use an interface. So an interface is like, you would call it, in a layman's language, you'd call it like a blueprint of your component. This is the component. Remember, we said in here we write our JavaScript, and here is where Astro is going to recognize any kind of JavaScript. So now we are instantiating our blueprint and telling her, letting know Astro that, hey, our component will take advantage of a title, a body, and an href. Okay, these can be any names. Okay, remember now in this is more of like TypeScript. You need to give it a type. Okay, so if it's a number, you're gonna write number. If it's a body, like if it's a string, you're gonna write a string. Okay, so now remember we talked about where is I'm gonna put it right here. So remember we talked about a title, and this is what we have over here. We have a body and an href. So now here, this is basically going to be regular HTML. I'm not going to go through all this, but what I'm going to explain to you is that, hey, if you instantiate that you have a title, you have a body, you have an href, and you give them types as well, now you can call them directly with just single curly braces. Okay, you can either call them with Astro, okay, you can call them with Astro that props that body. Okay, you can call them like this, and you'll definitely get the same. If I run this again, okay, you're gonna get the same thing. See, you can still get the body. Okay, however, to make things simpler for you, what you would do is to create another variable to hold all these elements and then store them alongside the Astro the props. Okay, so let me show you how that works. So you would instantiate, you would create your like a sort of a list, okay, of all the items, all the variables that you're going to use, and then assign them astro.props. Now, instead of writing all this in here, since we have this over here, you just call this single because it will just figure out. So see how all these are typically, see how body is not used. Okay, the body is not, it says it's not used because right now, you know, we are using the actual the full you know, astro props to call out the body. However, you can just leave that out and it's going to be the same thing. So this way your code is much cleaner and it's easier to read. Okay, yeah. So now let's go to the parent because the parent of this child card element. Okay, so now take a look. So in the parent, I'm gonna focus on here because this is where recent projects, this is where how you would call the card. So basically, since remember in Next.js and React, you need to export, you know, the card, the class that you just wrote, or the function that you just wrote. You need to export it by a certain name, and then that's how that actual name is what you're gonna call when you're importing that component, you know, over here. But here, this time around, it's a little bit different. You're gonna call it by the file name. Okay, so you're gonna say card. Remember, we said here we do not export anything. It just, the actual Astro will figure out the file name and it will import it. Okay, so now you're gonna say import card from you know, we are in the same directory. So this is projects, and then same directory, you know, import card.extra. Okay, so now if you write card, okay, then remember it's gonna be expecting. You do not need to write an HTML over here. Remember, you're just giving it variables that are gonna be used by the child over here. Make sense? Okay, so again here, so imagine it's gonna bring an error, but don't mind about it. This is how it would be. Okay, initially, that's how it is. Okay, as simple as that. Now, before you close it, this is where you're going to assign all the variables that's gonna, or the argument that's gonna depend on. So okay, if I pass that back over there, now the arrangement does not really matter, provided you pass the actual actually let's test that, because yeah, it doesn't matter provided they are received. Okay, I know if you're coming from Java and you're passing arguments to a function, to calling a function and passing arguments into it, the parameters need to be in the same order. But here it's different. Okay, it's different. Yeah, so there's a lot of learning in here. It makes things way simple, and I would really advise you to try it out to build your own React you know, portfolio. Okay, to change it around, because this is pretty much HTML. All this is just HTML. Okay, so now take a look. If this is not imported, just in case you forget to import this, okay, it will just let you know it can't find it. So what you do, come on, import, then you know everything, it will figure out where to write that import, just in case you've forgotten. Okay, so again, this is the parent component and this is the child component. Again, parent is passing down to child. You need an interface, instantiate the variables that are going to be received, and then now you can use them with single curly braces to call those values. You can also pass conditional variables to your child element. Okay, so let's say you want to parse something in here, okay, but you don't want it to show up in the other card. Okay, so guess what? You can do that as well. And how you would do it is simply, let's say, on this project, you want to add something like, oh, the tools that you use to build it. Okay, so what you can do, basically, you can add, let's say, tools. Okay, you can add a tools variable and then equate it to, let's say, Angular. Okay, so this was built with Angular. Let's see if I can spell. Okay, and let's say, actually, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna niche down. Okay, I'm gonna niche down on the actual name. So I used Angular, and I used Spring, let's say. Okay, and then on this one I used let's say Next.js. Okay, to build this. Okay, so Next.js. Okay, so yeah, let's take these examples. Okay, let's take these examples. So I have, just want to make sure I copy them. Okay, so let's say I have these examples. So in real life, what you would do, this is the parent. Okay, the parent. Now you need to come into the interface and then instantiate Spring. Okay, but this time around, it's not gonna be it's gonna be conditional. And how you do that is you add a question mark. Okay, you add a question mark to, to tell Astro that, hey, this is conditional. And then we also have Next.js, okay, which is also conditional. Okay, and a string. And then the other thing we have, what else do we have? We have Angular. Okay, we have Angular, which is also a string. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna add those in here. We have Angular, the order really doesn't matter. Again, we say this, and then we have Next.js. Okay, so now we have these in our constructor. Now all we need down here is to maybe create a div, and then in here you would okay, call all this. We have Spring, we have Next.js, and we have Angular. Okay, now see the magic. Okay, we've instantiated all of this, but remember, some of the cards do not have anything. Okay, do not have anything instantiated that, the stack that was used. So all I'm gonna do, gonna restart my npm run div, and then I'll open this in ta-da. So see, so any card that does not have those instantiated will not show them at all. Okay, so that's how you can set up conditional props to your child element. Again, in your parent, instantiate them, then add a conditional approach to all those variables, and then instantiate them into your divs. I hope this video was amazing. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something from it. I've been looking around YouTube, but a few people have such content, and the literally not explaining it to people like you yourself, that would learn why something is working the way it is. Okay, so I hope I gave you a better explanation, and I hope you're able to figure it out and fix anything in your portfolio. And again, if you want, this is like a bonus, if you really want your portfolio to look like something like this, please, I'm open to share this. Just shoot me a message on Instagram, subscribe to the channel, and give me a like, and basically comment down below. Let me know, hey, I need the repository, help me out, and I'll be more than happy to give you this template. Again, reach out to Instagram, Twitter, or X. I'm all over there. Or you can also reach out on LinkedIn. Okay, I'll add all these descriptions. I'll add all my contacts in the description below, and feel free to reach out if you basically need this repository. I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to subscribe. And I'm bringing new videos and bringing new content. And if you want to learn Angular, I have a new training video, new tutorial coming out very soon. I'm just putting everything all together, and I want you to learn together with me Angular, because I feel it's really amazing. But before you learn Angular, I would suggest you learn TypeScript, because it's it's a building block to figure out how things are working out in Angular. And if you're looking for a job, I feel like Angular right now is something that has less competition and is used more in the industry. Big corporations are using Angular because it has a strategic path, and building blocks to creating applications. The learning curve can be a little bit steep, but once you're good and once you figure out anything, the rest you can just learn on the way. I'm pretty sure you'll be fine, and good luck in your job search. See you in the next video.